Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to cover 3 poses, reverse warrior or peaceful warrior, depending on what terminology the teacher uses, reverse triangle, and we're going to spend most of our time on triangle pose. All of these fall into the family of warrior 2, hip openers, and we're going to spend most of our time on triangle pose. I love this pose, and it is also just rife with potential vulnerabilities, especially around the knee and the hip joint. So we're going to focus on all of those things. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to step back here, starting with just Warrior 2, and please reference, I've got a video on Warrior 2, and side angle also falls into this family of poses. But beginning in Warrior 2, just step the feet nice and wide. Sometimes you can use your arms here where the heels fall below the wrists. It's a nice separation there to start with. And then you've got your anchor leg that you might choose to pigeon toe. Open up the other. We're lining up heel to arch. Bend and straighten so you can find your right distance where your knee lands over your heel. Okay? And you don't feel wobbly. All right, so we've got all that, and the purpose here is to really experience the benefit of the hip opener. Root across your feet, bring that energy upward, that you want to feel that lightness. Center the knee, center your thigh bone in the hip joint so you feel that upward energy. Extend the arms, arm bones descend into the shoulder joints, and then breathe and lengthen. So reverse warrior, we just flip the palm, okay, of the front arm, all right, lengthen the spine and slowly head back, okay, into this side stretch back bend, okay, and then what typically happens for many people, I'm definitely one of them, is that the back leg, that thigh bone will want to protrude forward. So I remind mine, okay, manually, to head back. All right, and that usually motivates then the thigh muscle and the base of the glutes to engage. And then for me, this is the right flexibility. The other thing that happens a lot is that this front knee will want to unbend a little bit. Not a safety issue, but there's more to just explore typically in the pose. And then we come back up, straighten the leg, close, and step the feet together. Sometimes you'll see people hop the feet together, whatever feels safest for you. We'll just go ahead and explore that on the other side. So separating the feet, everything is just a starting point. You can always tweak your body positioning. Okay, lining up here though, heel to the back arch. That back foot is your anchor, so make sure you feel stable. Thigh bones nicely placed in the hip joint, okay, and then the muscles will secure it. First, we're just still exploring, so I'm still trying to set up my knee over my heel, feeling that I can get some length in my spine. Arms extend, so everything is with a sense of awareness. Good. And then engaging the thigh muscles, centering the knees and pulling them upward. Okay, before that, centering the ankles, centering the knees, all that's happening. And then lengthen. Now, once you feel like, okay, you've got this, flip the front palm and just start to explore the side stretch, back bend. It really falls in between, but either way, it's a hip opener. That's what you really want to focus on. And then I don't even feel that this is happening truly, but I know, just because I know my body, that it is, okay? That the thigh bone is starting to protrude forward. So I go, okay, I'm going to take it back. The front knee is going to want to veer forward. So I have to muscularly, okay, engage to secure everything. And then, now it really starts to feel really good, okay? But I still have to monitor my flexibility and pull in that strength, that awareness. And for me, this feels good. Maybe increasing the bend in the front knee, but still I can feel that my joints all feel good. Okay, I can sense that. And then coming up, okay, straightening, closing safely, exiting, and step the feet together. All right, so that is reverse warrior. We're going to explore reverse triangle next. And the only difference for the two is that in reverse triangle, the leg is straight. Okay, so separate your feet. Because the leg is straight in reverse triangle, in triangle, you might decide that you want your feet a little bit closer together. Completely fine. You just want to feel stable. Okay, the last thing you want in your own practice or in the middle of a class is to feel like you're inadvertently going to some sort of strange split, in the class. So you need to stick to your mat. All right, so we're taking the feet nice and some distance apart, toes for the front foot are pointing forward. We still have that heel to arch, proximate alignment. You still might have this, depends on your flexibility, but I have to monitor this all the time. And I just want to say a little bit more as to why. So if my thigh bone gets to do what it wants to do, then I'm really setting myself for all sorts of pain and problems. Okay, so I need to keep the channel open, and the thigh bone jutting forward in that hip joint is really going to close it off. Okay, but sending it back challenges this knee. Okay, this joint, equally important. So I have to really motivate my muscles, okay, to work to keep everything centered and grounded. All right, so we feel pretty stable here, I hope. Okay, root across the feet, across the heels, across the balls of the feet, and can you feel the ability that you have in your thigh muscles to have an impact on the knees themselves? So you want to feel that you're rooting across the feet and you're engaging your thighs in such a way that it centers each knee and that you can lift the kneecaps up. You don't want to feel a bulge, okay, behind the knees at all. All right, and then I also don't want to feel a bulge at the hips. So there's a lot to play with here, okay, that you really just need to feel that you've got space, lightness, effort, but you've got length. All right, arms extended just like warrior two, just the knees not bent. Head of the arm bones back, lengthen, and again, okay, so the front palm flips up, the back arm is going down the back leg, lengthen. You don't want to feel any pinch. That would not be an acceptable thing to feel. Okay, no pinch in any joint, or definitely not in the spine. Okay, so if you feel any pinching, back up the pose and really assess, is everything centered, grounded, and lifting? And then, see, when you're aligned, then it's delicious. Okay, and that's reverse triangle. All right. Closing it off, stepping the feet together, shaking it out, and we'll go into side two. Okay, so always monitoring your joints. We want happy joints, happy joints. Back leg is your anchor. Maybe it's slightly closed, means it has a slight turn, like a pigeon toe kind of setup there. And then the front foot here now, pointing directly toward the short edge of the mat. Okay, this is going to want to happen. Okay, but we're not going to do that yet. That's going to come into triangle pose. All right, so centering the knees, lifting upwards, centering the thigh bones in the hip joints, helping them feel snug. Reach the arms, plugging in, lengthen. You should be able to feel this continuous line of length. And then flip your front palm. Notice if your shoulders want to move about and see if you can get them to be stable. And then explore. Pause, breathe, assess. You might back up the pose, lengthen, breathe. And this is a common thing to do before side angle as far as this reverse position, whether you're in reverse warrior or reverse triangle, because it just opens everything up. Okay, so it sets you up in a really nice way. Let's go ahead and release the arms, release carefully, swiveling on the heels. Okay, so whoops, stepping the feet together. So we're lined up hip, knee, ankle all the time. We're trying to keep that relationship really healthy. All right, now for the main meal here. I'm gonna lift my pant legs just so you might be able to see a little bit better the relationship of the hips, knees, and ankles. Actually, I'm gonna start out with the feet together. So centering, it's gonna be really challenged in triangle pose, okay? But this, whatever biases you have in your body will absolutely try to come into this, okay? So if your ankles roll a lot, that's gonna be something to notice. If your knees turn in or out. Okay, I have one that turns in more than the other, so I have to be even extra mindful there. And then whatever things you may have going on in your thigh bone hip relationship. So we'll step the feet apart. Okay, again, you've got your anchor leg. Open up this one, line up heel to arch. Okay, be mindful of the positioning of your feet, and then just start to tilt and un. Okay, tilt and then level out. That'd probably be more accurate. Okay, so tilt and extend and feel. So I haven't given any cues yet on the ankle, knee, hip. All right, so do you feel any sort of unpleasantness? You want to be really aware. Okay, so coming up, now root across your feet. See if you can feel, get those sensations of centering the knees, lifting the thigh muscles upward, okay, to pull those knees up, okay, thigh bones in the hip joints, secured by the base of the glutes. Lengthen your torso, allow that tilt. The deeper your thigh bone can go into the hip joint, the more potential you have for space. I'm doing all these little things manually, okay, lifting the low belly. Okay, you can have one hand at your low belly, one hand at your back, and you're just trying to maintain neutral, smoothness, length. Okay, still opening the heart, not leaning too much into this hip, maybe extending the arm. Shoulder blades toward each other, lengthen. At any time, you can lower your hand to your leg, to a block, okay, maybe to the ground, but don't force it. You really want this length, length, length. Potentially, so there's warrior two, even arms here that come into this position. If you want to look up, really check in with how you feel with your neck. I like to tuck the chin, pull the base of the skull back. My entire spine feels longer. And then peek up without any sort of strain. Pull up, 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 up. Carefully, okay, closing, hips, knees, ankles all in line with each other, and then step the feet back together. New hips. New hips. All right, I love, love, love these poses. All right, we'll do the other side. Okay, so all these are relating to each other. Close off your back foot, make it feel secure. Open up. Okay, check in. Check in with the tilt. Okay, so you really want to avoid any sort of unpleasantness around the thigh. You know, when you get close to the joints, you want to be really careful. All right. So peeking, seeing what your ankles tend to do when you're not aware of them. Okay, maybe lift the toes. It's a technique I like to use a lot. Rooting across the feet really evenly. Motivating, okay, centering the ankles, motivating the knees to center. The thigh muscles have control over that. Okay, centering those knees, lifting them up, feeling your entire spine get longer, and then explore the tilt. Make sure that it's a stretch, but it's not pain, okay? So we want the thigh bones deep. Again, this knee might check out. Okay, so we want to center and lift the knee. Lengthen, lengthen. Maybe using your hands to assist with the length. Okay, using your hand here to lengthen the low belly. Maybe reach the arm. Really pull the head of the arm bone, then lengthen. Maybe lower one hand, lifting the other. Every pose is alive. Okay, so I'm still adjusting, still tweaking, keeping my knees centered, finding all of this space and breath. Lengthen. I didn't say it this time, but again, maybe tucking that chin, pulling the base of the skull back, peeking up. One more breath here. And inhale to come all the way up. Carefully. Good. We're exiting here with care. Okay, stepping the feet together. So we've had reverse warrior, reverse triangle, and triangle pose. Fabulous hip openers. So much work, but I think worth it all, right? I hope you've enjoyed this. I would love your feedback as always. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.